Hello, our most valued student. My name is Confident. Welcome to the revision session of the Mathematics N2, and this is the February 2022 exam, and currently it is the latest exam that has been written. And if you guys are preparing for your final exams, either this is your first time you are writing your Math N2 or you're actually doing a rewrite, so this is the video that can help you prepare for your exam. So this is the paper that was written in, as I said, 1st of Feb 2022, as you can see. And in this video, I'm looking at the whole memorandum of this question paper. And as you can see, this is the paper that I'm talking about. And we are going to look from question number 1, question number 2, 3, 4, 5, and lastly, question number 6. And the mark allocation of this paper is out of 100 marks. Now, before I go on to say how do you get hold of this memorandum, let me encourage you to subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel. If this is your first time coming in contact with this channel, it is very important for you to subscribe. Guys, if you are not subscribing, you are not actually giving us information as to how many of you are benefiting out there. Indeed, the channel is gaining a lot of subscribers each and every day. We thank you if you are subscribing, but if you are also benefiting and you have not subscribed, we will encourage you to subscribe, and you benefit on two things. The first thing is YouTube. If you subscribe and turn on that notification bell, YouTube sends you some real-time notification when there is a new video. And also, after subscribing, you are in a position to get easily all the videos that are uploaded in the channel. Now, how do you get hold of this memorandum for this paper? Now, if you are interested in getting the full memo for this paper, it will be available in the next couple of days and I will be uploading it. But now I just have to give you kind of maybe a disappointment or a disappointing message, is to say this video that will be covering the question 1 to question 6 will be available firstly for only our premium members. So it is strictly for premium members. And what is a premium member? It is someone who is contributing every month for the running of this channel. Premium membership is not expensive. It starts, I think, from 50 Rand or 60 Rand, if I'm not mistaken, per month. And this, you can use it to access all the videos that are not available on our normal YouTube channel. So what I will encourage you is become a premium member and easily access each and every video that we're uploading, especially if it is only restricted for those who are premium members. This helps us to run the channel. There are some costs involved. There are some resources that we need every time we're uploading these videos. And you guys, by becoming a premium member, you are helping us to say, please bring the channel. There are those who are absolutely not able to kind of contribute or become a premium member. But for those of you who are able, you are also assisting the other guys in terms of being able to actually go to our YouTube channel and watch the free videos we are giving. I think you have seen that in each and every week we upload quite a number of videos. So there is a lot of content on this YouTube channel that is benefiting most of the people. This can be seen from the comments that we're receiving, and we thank you for that. So please become a premium member and be able to access this memorandum. So it will be available in the next couple of days for those who are premium members. So if you want to see how you go about being a premium member, just check again on the steps that I've just given so that you can join premium members. And then also another thing that I want to say is we will make this available later stage to everyone. They will be able to access this, but as I say, this is a way of acknowledging and saying thank you to our premium members by making it available to them first. So if you guys see that you want this real time now, I will encourage you to become part of our premium members. And also, just to wrap this up, to say, if you are struggling with your mathematics, I just want to encourage you to go to our website www.24minute.co.za, and you are going to be able to find or navigate into the website where you will find a part for you to register for the classes. It will be available in the next couple of days, where you can register for classes. And the way it is designed, you are not only just registering for maths, you're going to look at the topics that you are struggling in and look at the dates where those classes are taking place, and then when those classes are taking place. By the way, it is online, so it's not like there is a meeting point. These are online classes, but the important part is to look at the date and the time, and then you register yourself for those classes. They are not for free. They will come at a cost, but well, the costing is not as expensive compared to you writing that exam, failing that exam, and then again registering to rewrite. The rewriting will be more expensive. The rewriting is emotionally taxing, so you don't want to fail your next coming exam. So I'll encourage you to consider attending these classes online. Check on the date. If you are not finding any information, send us an email either to info@24minute.co.za, or you can actually leave comments on our YouTube to say, how do I register for the classes? And we're able to look at those comments and ensure that the website is ready for you to register. So I encourage you to go through that website and register for the topic you're struggling in, so that you are ready for the classes. And also lastly, there is a Mathematics N2 test book. It's called Mathematics N2 for the Underdogs. This book is designed with you in mind. It is available at Takealot. You can purchase it, and it comes now already with a full curriculum of the videos. The difference in this book is that it has videos attached to it. So most of the books is just a way of just reading through the book, but the advantage of this book is that after purchasing the book, you will receive a link inside the book, which you will send us. There are instructions on how you can send us that link, and then once we receive the link or the code that you have sent us, we will know that you purchased the book, and then we will register you to our Google Classroom, where you'll be enrolled for the full curriculum of the mathematics. These are pre-recorded videos. You can watch them at any time. It is good for all students, whether you are working or you are at home studying for this maths, and it makes you just be able to kind of have a teacher in front of you always at any time you want. So what you do is you go through the textbook. If you're not understanding, you go through the Google Classroom and look at the actual topic that is actually making you struggle, and you start attending the class. As simple as that. These are videos that are pre-recorded. So I'll encourage you, if you want to be part of that, purchase the Mathematics N2 for the Underdog. So now, just to give you a test of this, let's look at one of the questions that I covered in this section, so that you can see the importance of you going through this whole memorandum as you prepare for your final exams. Guys, remember, reaching out is proof of passion. I have reached out to you. It is your time to also reach out and seek for help. It is your time to reach out to your friend by sharing this information, so that they can also benefit in this kind of lessons. So if you are benefiting from this, I will encourage you then to get hold of the resources that I just mentioned. Thank you. Hello again, our most valued student. My name is Confident. Welcome to the continuation of the Mathematics N2 revision session for the February 2022 exam. And as I said, this is a continuation, and the paper was written on the 1st of Feb 2022, and we are continuing looking now at question number 3 now, which means if you guys you haven't been what can I say, if this is your first time coming in contact with this lesson, it means you have missed 2 questions, which is question number 1 and question number 2. And I will encourage you to grab hold of those 2 questions so that you can be able to follow up to question number 3. So these are revision sessions, and also just to bring this quickly to your attention, some of you are battling or struggling with their mathematics, and I understand the importance of mathematics N2. Now, if you guys are struggling, you mustn't struggle with your maths while I'm around. What I will encourage you to do is to go to our website www.24minute.co.za. You can get this information at the beginning or at the end of the lesson. And when you go to the website, you are going to find information on how you can register for some online classes which are tailor-made for you. These are topic by topic classes which will help you prepare for your final exams. And I'm bringing this because you find that as a student, you are not concerned with the whole curriculum, and maybe there is only one area where you are struggling. So what I've done is I will unpack these into topic by topic so that you can register at that particular topic at that particular date so that you can tune in for those classes. So this helps you to prepare and look for some help where you are actually struggling. And also I've got the Mathematics N2 textbook for the underdogs. It comes preloaded with videos, and you can use these also as a way of covering your content gaps or even learning everything about maths. To me, it's one of the greatest books because it comes with videos and also it has you in mind. And also lastly, please subscribe to our channel YouTube, and also if you want to watch a full version of this video, you can do so whenever you become part of our members, a Prime membership. So if you join the membership, you can actually watch all these videos. They are firstly available for members, and then later we make them available for everyone. All right, now getting back to this question number 3, we are saying look at this question. I think the first 3.1 here, just a moment, 3.1, that's what we're looking at. It says it's a word problem, which is also one of the questions that carries good marks. And look at the mark allocation, it is 4 marks. It says here 2 motorists took off from the same point and moved in opposite directions such that after a certain period of time they were 127 kilometers apart. However, if they took off from the same point and moved in the same direction, then after the same period of time, one motorist will be 17 kilometers behind the other. Then it says, calculate the distance covered by each motorist. So look at this. If I try to, which side? Let me work on this side. If I try to come up with some kind of statements or equations of these, and let's first underline the key things here. I think it would be better actually to come up with 2 equations just below so that you can see how you can approach this. Then they're saying 2 motorists took off from the same point. Let's call the 2 motorists here X and Y. So one motorist is X, the other motorist is Y. They took off from the same point and moved in opposite directions. So what you have here, you have these 2 guys. One guy is moving from this point to that point. We'll call him motorist A, and the other motorist is moving from this point in this direction. We will call that motorist B. I think what I'm trying to bring about. That's what they're saying here. They're saying 2 motorists, we call them X and Y. I don't know why I'm calling them A and B. They're supposed to be X and Y. So this motorist is motorist X and the other one is motorist Y. So they are saying two motorists took off from the same point, so that's the same point we are having here, and move in opposite directions such that after a certain period of time they were 127 kilometers apart. So when you look at the distance between this point here, this particular distance, they are saying it is now, after a period of time, 127 kilometers. That's what they're saying. And then the second statement now, if we read it, says, however, if they took off from the same point again and move in the same direction. So how does this look now? This is the same way, but let's say they are moving in the same direction. So this is again motorist X, and moving in the same direction is motorist from the same point, let's say something like that, is motorist Y. I think that. However, if they took off from the same point and move in the same direction, then after the same period of time, so time is consistent here, one motorist will be 17 kilometers behind the other. So what they are saying is, if you look at the distance between them, let me use that to say, from this guy to this guy, the distance between them here is what? Is 17 kilometers. I think what they're trying to do. So this is the statement that we're getting. And then the question is, calculate the distance covered by each motorist. So they now want the distance that each motorist is covering. So now, from here, you can come up with two equations which you can use. For the first one, for me to have this 127 kilometers, if actually I don't want to call motorist X and Y. Actually, it is the distance here that I'm interested. Calculate the distance covered by each motorist. So let the distance, so you can say, let distance covered be X and Y. So I was correct here to say, let this be motorist, let this one be motorist A and this one be motorist B. So what is A? A is going to cover a distance of X and B is going to cover a distance of Y. So this is the distance they are covering. So that I can come up now with an equation to say the distance covered by motorist X plus the distance covered by motorist Y is equal to 127 kilometers. I don't have to put the kilometers part. This then becomes my equation 1. That's the important part there that they want. That's equation 1 there, to say X plus Y is equal to 127. Now on the second part, remember again, you have got motorist A here and you have motorist B. Now the distance covered by motorist A, we called it X. The distance covered by motorist B, we called it Y. So it's X kilometers and Y kilometers. So now the question here, look at this. We are saying the difference, look at this here, X, if X went X kilometers and Y went Y kilometers. Now what is the distance between them? Like the distance between them, they are saying it is 17 kilometers, which means if I take the distance moved by X, I subtract this distance moved by Y, I'm going to get what? 17 kilometers. Why? Because they are moving in the same direction this time. So now this comes or end up bringing me equation 2. I think that. So that is what was important here. That is what I'm going to take here to say what I'm having is X plus Y is equal to 127 as my equation 1. These are simultaneous equations which you must solve. And the other one is X minus Y is equal to 17. So it's X minus Y is equal to 17. That's number 2. So looking at these guys, if you have solved simultaneous equations, there are different ways to solve it, but this is the simplest way from what I'm given to say. Looking at the 2, we have got equation 1 and equation 2. If I can add these two equations, so let me just put a bracket like that, meaning if I say equation 1 plus equation 2, why am I doing that? Because I've got a plus y and minus y. This will actually cancel out to give me a 0, leaving me with the x. Are you seeing that? That's the reason why I'm doing that. So when I'm going to do that, it will be x plus x, which is 2x, plus y minus y becomes 0. Are you seeing that? So if I'm actually doing it step by step, it will be x plus x is that plus that. Are you seeing that? And then the other one will be plus y minus y, because I'm adding, and then after the equal sign, 127 plus 17. That's what I'm just doing. So it will be plus y minus y is equal to 127 plus 17. I'm using a plus as we saw. But now x plus x is 2x. That, as I said, it cancels, is equal to, when you add that 127 plus 17, you get 144. Then to get x, remember 2x, 2 and x are multiplying. So the opposite of multiplication is dividing, and I divide by what I don't want, which is that 2, and then here I also divide by 2. So what is my x? Here x is equal to, you divide that, it's 72. So x is 72 kilometers, because we're measuring in distance is kilometers, because I said let the what? Let the distance covered by be x and y. So the distance here moved in a way is 72 kilometers. But now I can choose, for example, I can say into equation 1. Then I bring back equation 1, and equation 1 is what? It's x plus y is equal to 127. But I know, remember, where there is x, I now put what? 172, because I've got my first x. So what I will have is 72 here, let me bring back, it's 72 plus y is equal to 127. And then when I finalize that, look, I need to remain with y, so y is equal to 72 is on the other side. I need it to come and join 127, so it will become from positive, it will become negative. So it will become 127 minus 72. So y is equal to, now these are simple steps, but sometimes you find students, struggling to finalize their answer in that part. So it will be 127 minus 72 is equal to 55. Again, it's kilometers. Now you have to round, you have to finalize your answer. The question is calculate the distance covered by each motorist. So to be more accurate on your answer, you can say distance covered by the two, because you don't know which one covered what, the two motorists are it's 72 kilometers and 55 kilometers. So this is the conclusion of everything. So distance covered by the two motorists are 72 kilometers and 55 kilometers. Are you getting that? You can just quickly, in as much as it's not way accurate to test it, because your equations are done by you, it will be good also just to check if ever a few things you did are correct. First of all is, they say two motorists took off from the same point and moved in the opposite direction, such that after a certain period of time they were 127 kilometers apart. So if you say now at this point, as I say, you are testing it, but it depends on your equation. So even if the equations are wrong, you can still prove, you can still test correctly. So I cannot emphasize that this is 100% correct, but it helps you to check if your simultaneous equation was correct. So if A is, in this case, X, we said if he moves, for example, 72 here, this one moves 55, After a period of time, you add 72 plus 55. It must give you what? 72 plus 55. It gives us 127, which is what they said. And then now, if you subtract their distances, which is 72 minus 55. So this is the 17 that we're getting. So it does, in a way, verify your simultaneous equation, but not that you did the equations correctly. So that is still fine. Now let us move on to the next question. And now we are looking at, if I can just redo this, we are looking at question number 3.2. And in question 3.2 here it says, what are we doing? And we are solve the following equations. 3.2.1, it's equations now, and these are related to, in terms of very important section, I mean equations, is algebra. So now if I can just solve this here, it says 2y plus 41 is equal to 8y minus 19. Guys, it's 2 marks. It looks basic, but you need to do the right things to ensure you get those 2 marks. So what are we having? You have 2y plus 41 is equal to 8y minus 19. So what are we doing here? What we're doing here is we need to take y on one side of the equal sign and take the numbers on the other side of the equal sign. So what are you saying? You are saying that is called collecting like terms, grouping them together. You are saying that in this equal sign here, I've got y, which I can take it to join the other 2y there, and then again I've got 41, which I can take to join the other side there. But remember, whenever you cross the equal sign, the sign must change. If it was positive, it will become negative. If it was negative, becoming positive. So you ask yourself, what is the sign for 8y? 8y is positive, so it has to cross the equal sign to become 2y minus 8y. Now equal sign, again, on the right hand side already you have negative 19, but 41 is positive. You see that positive will change, become negative after crossing the equal sign to become negative 41. After this, your calculator will do all the part of the work. You don't have to do anything at this point, but your calculator is the one. So since these are like terms, 2y minus 8y, you just say 2 minus 8. It will give you the answer. You can see that I'm getting minus 6. On the other side, it's the right hand side, it's minus 19 minus 41, and then it gives me negative 60. So what I have here is minus 6y is equal to minus 60. Then from here, you ask yourself, let me just do this so that it's clear. It's minus 6y, it's minus 60. Now, why did I just leave a little bit of space between 6 and y? If it's minus 6y, the sign between there is a multiplication sign. It's a dot. So, it's a multiplication. It's minus 6 times y. It's minus 60. Now, the question is, what is the opposite of multiplication? It is division. So, the only way to remove that negative 6y from y, we cannot take 6y like that to say it will cross the equal sign so that it will become minus 60. Now it was negative 6, it become plus 6. That is not proper. Why? Because 6 and y are in there, the separating or the sign in between them is a multiplication sign. If the sign is a multiplication, the opposite of multiplication is not addition. You see the difference there. So whatever you'll be doing then becomes, in this case, wrong. You need to follow the rules to say what is the opposite of multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So it means I need to divide both sides. What you do on the left, you do on the right. Now by what you don't want, and this is what I don't want. So I'm going to divide then by negative 6 on both sides. That's how that y can be made to remain alone. So now you've got y is equal to, again, avoid this thing of saying I want to do it with my mentally. Just use your calculator. You don't have to think hard. That's why they give you that calculator. You say minus 6 divided by negative 6 is equal to 10. So you get your y simple is equal to 10. It's 2 marks, but be very sensitive on that. Of course, on every equation you can test it because it's easier. So what you do is you take the original to say in here where there is y, you are putting a 10, you're putting a 10. So you're saying 2 bracket 10 plus 41 is equal to what? 8 bracket 10 minus 19. Do it right. So what you do is you check the other side to say 2, the left hand side, bracket 10 plus 41. You check the answer. I'm getting 61 is equal to, you do also on the other side, which is 8 bracket 10 minus 19. I'm also getting 61. So look at this. The left hand side is balancing with the right hand side. It means therefore my answer for y is equal to 10 is definitely correct. There is your 2 marks there. So, but of course they don't mark you 2 marks in the answer. They give you your answer 1 mark and the whole part of your working there becomes 1 mark. That's how they give you the mark allocation there. But guys, please, this was, in as much as it looks 2 marks and you're like, it's too basic, you need to move fast, it's for the underdogs. Remember, if you're not an underdog, this channel cannot fully benefit you because you'll be frustrated on some of the working that I do. Anyway, let's move on. 3.2.2. It says 20y squared plus 9y minus 18 is equal to 0. It says solve the following equations. Okay, I'm solving equations here. And what am I solving? I'm solving this equation. It says 20y squared plus 9y minus 18 is equal to 0. Then it says using, so they are restricting me here. I must use the factorization method, meaning there are many ways of solving this. You can use a quadratic equation. You can use later a completing of a square. You can use even factorization. So that's why they are restricting you here to check if you know the concept of factorization. Now, 3 marks. And remember, question number 2 was all about factorization. But again, there is another question wanting you to factorize, adding even more marks to say, if you knew factorization, this was going to be a good question. So what do we have? We are given here 20y squared plus 9y minus 18 is equal to 0. Now, since they forced factorization, I'm going to take a little bit of time here. Look at this. I said what you focus on is your product, and the product is I take this first term and this last term with a sign. So I take those 2 terms. Let me just do this to say I take this term and that term with a sign, remember? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply them. That gives me the product. So that's my P. So here, my product, which is multiplication, is in a way 20y squared times negative 18. That's what I'm doing. And then if I get my answer there to say 20, you multiply just 20 times negative 18, it will give me negative 360. So it's minus 360 y squared. That's my product. And then whatever is remaining in the center here is the sum, and the sum means plus. So the sum there is equal to positive 9y. So now, very interesting. The next part is the crucial one. It is whereby you are looking at the factors, but don't forget, you are looking at the factors of the product, and the product is what? 360. So don't worry with that sign negative, just focus on 360. Let me just do this to say you are just looking at this number 360. Don't worry about the y and the negative, just focus on that number. So how can you get 360 when you're multiplying? You can use 1 start with always 1. 1 times 360, it will give us 360. I say don't worry about the signs, they will take care of themselves later. Then you can use 2 times what? So in other ways, you are dividing 360 divided by 2. That's how I get the other number, which I must multiply with. It's 180. I think that. Let's try 3. I can multiply 3 by which number? And as I'm saying, in a way, you are dividing by that number. So it's 360. Divide by 3 to get the number you must multiply with. Remember, division and multiplication work together. So if I multiply 3 times 120, it will give me 360. Then you move on to 4. You start with a smaller number and then you grow it just like that and see where it leads to. 360, we divide by 4, is 90. So we use 90. So to save time, let's continue. 360 divided by 5, it's 72. So here it was 90. 5 was 72. You continue until you have done all the factors. So you try 6. 360 divided by 6. So it will be 360. I divide by 6. I get 60. 360 divide by 7. So if you see such, it means there are no factors. So you try the next one. 360 divide by 8. It's 45. So I had 6 times 60. I have 8 times 45. I think that you continue until you have all the factors. So the next one is after 8, we try 9. 360 divided by 9, it's 40. And 360 divided by 10 is 36. So you have got 9 times 40. You have got 10 times 36. It was long, that's why they were emphasizing that whole part to say use the factor theorem. So 360 divided by 11, we continue, it's not gonna work. 360 divided by 12 is 30. 360 divided by 13 is not gonna work. 360 divided by 14, it's not gonna work. So let's start with 12 times 30, and then we continue there. So let me just verify again. 12 times 30, it must be 360. Okay, and then 360 divided by 15 is 24. We're continuing, and then 360 divided by 16, it's not gonna work. 360 divided by 17 is not gonna work. 360 divided by 18 is 20. So if we divide 360 divided by 18, so I think it was 360 divided by 15, that gave me 24, and 360 divided by 18, so it's 24 and 20. So 15 gave me 24, 18 gave me 20. It's still continuing. I know the factors look a lot, but that's what they are trying to give. They made it 3 marks here, so they did it intentionally. So 360 divided by 19, nothing. And then 360 divided by 20, it's 18. So look, I'm saying 360 divided by 20. Let me write that. So it's 20 times 18. The moment I start repeating numbers, look at these two. The moment I start repeating numbers, it's 18 times 20 and 20 times 18. It means this is just a repetition. It means you have reached the end. So you don't need this part. You can stop there. Now from these numbers, only one will be correct. Now let me come back to you and say, we are back again to our number 360 to say, we are not looking at 360. We are looking actually at, now we can consider the sign minus 360. Not only 360, but there is a negative. So how can I get a negative? there are two ways of getting a negative. It's either 1 is negative, for example, it will be -1, -1, -1, -1. All these will give me negative 360. Are you seeing that? That's one way of getting negative 360 when I'm multiplying. Or the other one is the same numbers here. Let me do this. It's all the same numbers, like 1 times 360. All these numbers, 2 times 180, sorry. 3 times 120. 4 times 90. 5 times 72. I'm just leaving more space. Let me match them because I don't want them to be like the way I'm writing them now. Look at this. It's what? It's 3 times 120. 4 times 90. 5 times 72. 6 times 60. 8 times 45. 9 times 40. 10 times 36. You see, I'm more like teaching now, guys, but I should have done this quicker. But anyway, let's do it like that. Then 15 times 24 and 18 times 20. Just to check with your calculator again, I said there is two ways of getting a negative what? A negative 360. So if I bring in my calculator here, we are saying if I want to get negative 360, it's -1 times 360. Look at this. I get a negative 360. Or I play back, remove that negative from 1 and I put it in negative 360. I still get a negative 360. So meaning there are two ways of getting a negative. It's either it's on -1 or it's minus 360. It can be here, it can be here, and so on and so on. So what it simple means is one of the numbers must be negative. And then when you've done that to say, how can I get minus 360? It's either one number is negative and the other one is positive, or the other number which was positive is the one that is negative. Now then the next question you're asking yourself, which is going to decide, is your sum. This is your decider. The sum is of these two numbers that you are multiplying. When you add them, sum means add, you must get positive 9y, exactly as is. So what you are doing is you are looking at these numbers to say, I want to add these numbers, and when I'm adding them, I must get a positive. So again, your calculator is going to work here. You start with the 2, -1 and 360. There is no way -1, as I'm saying, you are having a plus here on all these. You are adding these numbers. You are adding all of them. And don't forget, only one will be correct. So you are putting a plus to say, if I'm going to add them as they appear, you see, like, it will give you what? A positive 9. Now to get a positive number, you need to understand addition and subtraction. Now to get a positive number, it definitely means the bigger number must be positive and the smaller number must be negative. So in here, when you look at this side here, just to test with 1 so that we don't waste time. If I choose any number, for example, if I say I'm choosing this number 5 and 72 here. If I say 5 plus, remember I'm adding them, plus negative 72, you can put a bracket if you want. You see, I'm getting a negative number. Any number, as long as the bigger number is negative, or 8 plus negative 45, I'm getting a negative number, which is not my sum. My sum is positive 9, which means I must focus on these numbers. The far apart they are, there is no way you can get a 9. For example, 3 and 120, it's out. 4 and 90, all these numbers are far from each other. Maybe you can start looking at 10 and 36 to say negative 10 plus 36. See, it's getting smaller. Is 26. Try the next one. Negative 12 plus 30 is 18. See, it's getting smaller and smaller. Negative 15 plus 24 it's 9. You see, there is the number. If you try the other one, negative 18 plus 20. See, we are getting a 2 now. So the number is negative 15 plus 24. You don't need to cram it. It will come out like that. So there is the number. And I know it takes time, but that's how you can simple do that. They want to get, you need how many marks? 3 marks for this. But if you're quicker with it, it will be so fast to do that. So it's minus 15 and plus 24. So when you have gotten these numbers, we call these your what? We call these your factors. So let me continue working it in this direction. So we are saying your factors that you got here was what? Minus 15 and 24. So if I'm to work faster now, it would have been like this. 20y squared plus 9y minus 18 is equal to 0. So I said my product here, as I said, my product P was equal to minus 360 y squared. My sum, we said it was positive 9y. My factors, we said the factors I'm having is negative 15 and 24. So it's minus 15y and 24y. Meaning if I say minus 15, let me show you this again. If I say minus 15 plus 24, so I got that. Now if I multiply, say times, because when I multiply them, it gives me negative 360. So now you just put the y because that is the factor to say I need this to give me a 9y. So now when you're writing, instead of 9y, you're going to write now 20y squared. Where there is 9, you are now writing this, minus 15 plus 24y. Remember, we used a plus, minus 15 plus 24 as is. Are you saying that? And then from there, you are saying minus 18 equal to 0. Then that's where you need to do grouping again. We have looked at this consistently in the previous question 2. I think this must be 15y. So you do this, take the first 2 and take the last 2. We are factorizing by grouping, asking yourself what's common in 20y squared and 15y. Obviously 20 and 15, the common number is 5. Y squared and y, you take the smaller power, which is y. So you're saying 5 into 20, it will give us 4. Y into y squared, it will give us a y, so it's 4y. In this one, the next one, 5 into 15, it will give us 3. The y will cancel the y. So that's what you're doing there. So if I do the actual number, 5 into 20 is 4. Y into y squared is y minus 5 into 15 is 3. Y will cancel the y. Then you close that bracket. Then you have always put a plus. What is common between 24 and 18? This you need to test with your calculator, the common factor, the highest common factor. It is not 2 because 2 and 18, you try 2, you try 3, will still work. 3, you try other numbers, 4 won't do, 5 won't do, but 6 and will go into 18 and 24. That's the biggest number. So you take a 6 into 24. The aim, or by the way, the aim is to focus on what you're getting here. You ask yourself, for me to get a 4y, what number can I use here? So you know 6 times 4 becomes 24, so it's easier also to identify. Are you getting that? So you have 6 into 24 is 4y. Remember, they must match the bracket. 6 into 18 is negative, into negative 18 is negative 3, is equal to 0. They must always match. Your brackets must identically be the same if you're doing the right thing. Then from there, that's what you have. What is in the bracket is what you write down, 4y minus 3, and what is outside the bracket is then the part that becomes the second bracket, which is 5y plus 6. Then this is equal to what? This is equal to 0. And then from here, you move on and say, you take the first bracket, either 4y minus 3 is equal to 0, or the other bracket, 5y plus 6 is equal to 0. You see that? Then from there, it's a matter of solving equations. You need to remain with 4y, take minus 3 to the other side. You need to remain with 5y, take plus 6 to the other side. Bear in mind, whenever you cross the equal sign, that equal sign, the sign changes. So 4y become not negative 3 now, it's a positive 3. We don't usually put that positive because it's by default positive. But 5y this side becomes from positive 6 to negative 6. Because a negative must be respected, we need to indicate that negative. And I did mention to say, between 4 and y, there is a multiplication sign, and the opposite, you divide. But what you do on the left, you do on the right. So we have got y is 3 over 4. On the other side, again, you divide by 5. You divide by 5, and then you have got y is equal to negative 6 over 5. So that's how you get your two answers. These are the two answers for that question. Y is equal to 3 over 4 and y is equal to minus 6 over 5. If it's an equation, it needs to be tested. So now, how do you test this? So y is 3 over 4 is the first one. You come here and say, if they are saying y is equal to 3 over 4, or why are we getting two answers? Because of y squared. So if it's a square, it means I need two answers. The other one is y is negative 6 over 5. Y is equal to negative 6 over 5. That's where now you need to test. Meaning, where there is y, you put the first value. Even here, you put the value. So let's test that. It must give us a 0. If you didn't do it right, you won't get the thing balanced. So let's do that. I've got 20. Then it's bracket because I need to put that y, which is the first one is 3 over 4. Just taking my time, guys. Squared, and then my plus 9 bracket y again is 3 over 4. And then minus 18. It must give us a 0. There is the first one. It works. You play back, change that part to say, instead of that, you put now negative what? 6 over 5. That's another one that we got, remember? You must test both answers just to ensure you are on the right track. So it's negative 6 over 5. Avoid 5 over 6 error, kind of that. Equal to, I am getting a 0. Means whatever the case may be, without a reasonable doubt, that is correct. Are you with me? So that's how you solve that. I hope these guys keep making sense to you. Now we are moving on. Now we are looking at question 3.3 with me just taking time here. I'm just enjoying this, guys. I'm just enjoying this. I know most of you are saying, but it's too long. Just allow those who are in a way learning this also get benefit. I'm sorry if it's too long. Try to fast forward, or in other ways, you are the brilliant one, which you might look for some help in other videos. Look at this. Given the formula V is equal to, then they give you that formula. 3.3.1 says make Z or Z in American, Z in British. So make Z the subject of the formula 4 marks. I consider this the most important lesson of algebra, subject of formulae. But I always think if you master this chapter, your equations will already be sorted out, because to me that's the foundation. When I'm giving students lots of these, automatically I discover their algebra also picks up. So what do we have here? We have this scenario: V is equal to W over square root of x cubed plus y z cubed. A few things to make sure that you get how many marks? 4 marks. Remember, guys, a few things here. They give 4 marks intentionally because they know students always just mess up a few things here and get everything wrong. And I'm going to include a little bit of carefulness here. The first part is when you see this part y z cubed. It means y times z cubed, meaning the cube only belongs to z and not the y. If it was belonging to y also, they would have done it like this: y, z in brackets, and they put a cube. Then this would have mean y is also cubed times z is also cubed. Are you seeing the difference? Don't forget that. That's where students make lots of errors. Also, we did mention to say if you are given a sign like this, it means you can put a bracket and say 1 over 2 if you want. But also, one thing is to get rid of a bracket like that, what you need to do is to put that square. What you're actually doing is you are saying if that was a half, by putting a square, remember the square root means power half. This particular square, we are saying times 2 is the one that is actually neutralizing that, so that we have got in a way that square root falling off. So if you have got a square root, it's half, but if you're putting times power 2, you are actually multiplying half times 2. That's how the square root falls off. Now, what do we do then in this scenario? First things first, we have a situation here. We have a fraction, so deal with the fraction first. That's what I will prefer. And then the fraction simple means if I have here, for example, a is equal to b over c. You see this? So for me to get rid of this particular c, I multiply everything by c, multiply everything by c, left hand side, right hand side. Then this will cancel the c, but here it will be c times a. That's what I'm going to be doing on the other side, to say if I can look at what I'm given here, I am concerned with this fraction, which is I need to multiply here everything by what I don't want here. I mean by what is at the bottom, which is square root. I need to multiply it on top of this division sign, which is square root of x cubed times y z cubed. But what I do on the left again, times square root of x cubed times y z cubed. You see that? So that this will take off that. Are you seeing what I'm doing there? That is one way. That is one way. So let's do that. It's still gonna be fine. I think that way. Yeah, it's 2 ways, 3 ways. Depends how you wanna do it. Or alternatively, before that, let me actually do. It's still gonna be fine, guys. Nothing's wrong. This method is correct. I'll do it quicker for you next time. I mean, in the next, I'll show you 2 methods. But now, how about I start with this one, because I'll show you why I'm doing that. If we start with this one, meaning we need to do this. We need to come here. Because of that square root, I need to get rid of that square. So I'm going to square this side, do that, and square this side. Unfortunately, the square root is at the bottom. It's not affecting the top. But whenever you are squaring, you must ensure that you square everything. What does this mean? This means I have now v to the power 2 is v squared is equal to this square is affecting that and affecting that. So I've got w squared over square root of x cubed plus y z cubed again to the power of 2. Now I'm having this scenario. You see that? That's how the square root falls off. So now when I've got that, I will have v squared is equal to w squared. That's where they wanted to catch you to say, do you see, to remove that square will also affect the w, over x cubed plus y z cubed. So guys, I'm here now. The square root has fallen off. That's what I preferred. And then I can now do that part to say times what I don't want, which is the whole of this. I think that, which is x cubed plus y z cubed, that is on the what? On the right hand side. Again, on the left hand side, I'll say times, and then we have got here, that's where now is important. Look at this. I'm not going to put a bracket, but if you do this, x cubed plus y z cubed, if you just do it like that, there's something that they're going to penalize you. I think the best is always to protect it like that, so that when you're cancelling the whole of that with all of that. You're not cancelling one by one. The reason why I'm saying you're going to get this wrong, remember BODMAS, it means you must respect multiplication. So all of a sudden, it's as if this is v times y plus x cubed because of BODMAS. So to avoid that, BODMAS says there must be brackets first before division and multiplication. So you need to put these brackets to indicate that this thing goes as one thing because of the plus sign. Whatever you do to x cubed, you must do to yz cubed. Instead of removing the bracket, it kind of like, look, that whatever you do here, you don't need to do it on x cubed because of the plus. So please don't forget, respect that part. Why? Because when you're simplifying it, it means v squared will multiply that and v squared will affect that. That is what is actually being done, and that's correct. So when you do that, you can start with your v squared, or you can leave it like that, but it's good to start with v squared multiplying x cubed plus y z cubed is equal to w squared. Now let's not lose sight of where we are going. What are we doing? We're making z the subject, so our focus is z. Y is at the bottom, and that's why we are doing what we're doing. So now we have got z almost where we want, but first of all, as we said, you need to open this bracket. This must open that, and this must open that, which means v squared times x cubed, it's v squared x cubed as is, nothing changes, plus v squared y z cubed is equal to w squared. Why are we doing that? We're separating it, and that positive sign is the most important one, because what it does is it allows, remember our focus is this guy, it allows this v squared x cubed to jump the equal sign and join w squared. So what you'll have left on the other side v squared y z cubed equal to w squared. The sign of that was positive, it becomes now minus v squared x cubed. Are you seeing that? Slowly but surely, your focus, don't forget, don't lose focus. We're looking at that. Back to the thing now to say, what is it that is separating v squared? There is a times that is hidden there. Y and z, they are terms. And the opposite of times is a division sign. It's a division sign. So you need to divide by v squared y. On the other side again, v squared y, because that's how you can get rid of that. Then what do you have? If I can just bring it now here, because it's almost there. What I have now is, I've cancelled, I've got z cubed is equal to w squared minus v squared x cubed. Are you seeing that? Over v squared y. That's what we are having. Then how do you get rid of that power 3? Now, just a quick note there. If you are given, for example, a cubed is equal to b, how do I get rid of that? You just put this, and then you put a 3 there. The opposite of cubed is that cube root. If it was a squared is equal to b, how do I get rid of the square? You put that and put a 2. So, but what you do on the left, you do on the right, you put a 2. What you do on the left, you do on the right, you put a 3. That's all that you're supposed to do. That's the simplest one. Or some will say, understand my exponents. If you understand your exponents, if you're given a cubed is equal to b, To get rid of that 3, you multiply by an exponent 1 over 3, the inverse of that. Also here, there is a 1, you say times 1 over 3. So what you have is A is equal to B to the power 1 over 3. And B to the power 1 over 3 is simply cube root of what? Of B. That's what you can do. Whatever you want, guys, it's up to you. They'll still mark you correct. So the simple one that I prefer is to say I've got Z, I cube root Z cubed. It will take care of each other. But what I do on the left, I also cube root W squared minus V squared X cubed over V squared Y. Be careful of your cube root. It must extend all the way to show that it's affecting the top and the bottom. Then, therefore, Z is equal to cube root of W squared minus V squared X cubed over V squared Y. Guys, that is how you simplify that. Are you with me? Say yes. Okay, thank you. Now look at this. That is my Z, my Z. So when I've gotten my Z, maybe just to bring in something, someone would have said, why did you square this side? As I said, I'll bring this. What I did here, if I can come at this stage and say, what I did, y square first, because I was having V is equal to W over that which was X cubed plus Y Z cubed. And then at first I wanted to multiply by that. And what I do on the left, remember, I also do on the right times that, which is X cubed plus Y Z cubed. Even here, X cubed plus Y Z cubed. So this would have gone, and I'm having that V multiplying X cubed plus Y Z cubed is equal to W. What I didn't want you to make errors now to say, what do I do from here? From here, you could have done two things so that you don't make errors. This V, you don't want it, so you could have divided by V. That was an option. Alternatively, you would have said, but I need to get rid of that square. So that's where now you still do this and square. What you do on the left, you do on the right. Now what you'll have now will be V squared. Now that's where you put a bracket and have X cubed plus Y Z cubed is equal to W squared, which is, let's look for that. There it is. Look at this. That's what we had. If I can just move a little bit slower, do you see that it's the same? You see that? Or must I minimize it just for you to see? Look at this. V squared X cubed is that part. Or, look at this. If you didn't want to do that, this is maths, guys, algebra. If you didn't want to do this part, you would, as I said, you would have done yourself something like this. They will mark you correct in everything. Remember, you had V times square root of X cubed plus Y Z cubed, after cancelling, is equal to that W. You can divide by V, so that goes, and then you've got square root of X cubed plus Y Z cubed is equal to W over V. This is also acceptable, very correct. You're not going to be penalized. Then you can now square and bracket, you square. Then you've got X cubed plus Y Z cubed is equal to, such a square means W has a square and V has a square. Don't forget that. This then means, remember your focus is Z. Take that to the other side because it's plus. You get Y Z cubed is equal to W squared over V squared minus X cubed. It's actually not this kind of X, it's this X cubed. Are you saying that? Still correct. Then you're focusing on y. Remember the times, you divide by y, you divide by y. Then you have z cubed is w squared over v squared minus x cubed all over y. And I told you how to get rid of that cube. You cube root, and everything here you cube root, so that you have got z is equal to, in big way, it's cube root of w squared over v squared minus x cubed, everything over y. Now someone will say, but this answer looks different from the one that you have here. Now let me write, look at this, it looks totally different, but I'll show you something to say. If you want to add or you want to simplify that, what you'll have, you are going to have z is equal to, the common denominator is here over 1, so it's v squared. So you'll have v squared, let me just give it a bit of space. So what you have when you're adding, you're going to have v squared as the common denominator and say over v squared into v squared is 1 times the top w squared minus 1 into v squared is v squared x cubed, and then everything is all over y. I'm just doing addition, which is equal to, here from here you are going to have z is equal to, this y comes and multiplies the top, so it will become like this, w squared minus v squared x cubed over y, or v squared y. It would have been that. Now comparing this to that, look at the difference. It's actually the same. Sorry about that. It's actually the same thing here, the two. Look at this. At the end of the day, it works out to become the same. It's just a matter of, if you left your answer like this, they were still going to mark you very, very correct. You are very correct, okay? Because they didn't restrict in the sense of how you do that. Oh, I can't undo that because there is a next follow-up question. Then it says, determine the value of z or z if they're given now v, w, x, and y. This one is not difficult. It's a matter of substitution. That's why now let me make it smaller. Look at this. So I have my final answer here. I think I can take this thing here. Let me see if I can manage to just to select this. Okay, I can't. I just wanted to select this, let me try to do this. Okay, it's not gonna make it possible for me, but anyway, I just wanted to bring this kind of thing here. Yes, it allows, it did move. Thank you. So if I do this, I just want to bring it close so that I can just substitute. Look at this. If I can now substitute, I've got my z or my z here. If I use a different marker to say my z is equal to, I do that, where there is w is 20,5, so you've got 20,5 squared, see that, minus v is 1,25. This is just, I'm just doing it, but it's not a problem, squared. Now x, you put a times or brackets, so let's put times. Whenever you see v and x, put a bracket, or you can actually put two brackets like this. Even here it was good to put a bracket whenever there is w. X cubed is 2 cubed all over v squared, put a bracket, and v is 1,25 squared, and then y, put a bracket and you put 3. I think that. So that's how you kind of simplify that, and your calculator is your way or your guide to go to here. So when I do that, sorry about that, I will have my square root. If I can just have, it's actually square root of what? It's a fraction. It's just you need to do this once. Don't do in parts, just go straight. 20,5 squared, because it's just one mark, there is nothing much about this, minus bracket 1,25 squared bracket 2 cubed, then you go down to say bracket 1,25 say 1,25. I must correct the top one, squared. It's just being careful here, times 3. Let's do that top. 2 cubed is correct, but here I said 1,5. You see, the 2 was not done properly. Then equal to, then you get 9,3266. I don't know how many decimal places. I think it's 3 decimal places, which is 9,327. Or you round off, shift, setup, let the calculator do the work for you. You press 6 and then you say 3 decimal place. It's 9,327. So you get your answer as here 9,327. That becomes the value for Z. It was not really much, it's 1 mark, but look at the total mark allocation for that part. It's 14 marks. Guys, I know it's a lot of work and I'm doing kind of like I'm working in circles, but I hope this does make sense to you. Remember, you see the way I was working this slowly. For example, when I looked at this question here, question 3.2.2, that's what you'll be getting whenever you're now subscribing and becoming a part of our students who will be enrolling for online classes. I'm not there to be in a hurry. I'm there to put these concepts slowly but surely. So in you registering, it's a good advantage because it puts your mathematics into perspective, whereby you are not just second guessing, you are not working on eggshells in such concepts. You know that I'm doing the right thing. So go to our website www.24minute.co.za, check the next chapter. If you're not getting anything, send a message on YouTube to say we are waiting for the classes. Where are they? You promised the classes. Unfortunately, they are not free. Just a little bit of subscription. I don't think it will cost much. We'll check, but we want to maintain the running of the channel. We want to maintain the running of these online classes. Unfortunately, there is a team behind and it's not free. But guys, what is money, or what is a cost compared to your dream, compared to your career? It's nothing, because what you're frustrated today, if you don't deal with it, it will frustrate you for the next 2 years, 3 years, and it's delaying you instead. So make 2022 your best year by telling yourself, I'm finishing this and I'm not carrying this subject. You don't want to repeat. It's frustrating. It's actually discouraging. It's actually demoralizing. So I will encourage you, better register, better subscribe, better to be already having more of these sessions, so that whenever you face your final exam, you are very confident that that exam you're going to ace it. Remember guys, reaching out is proof of passion. I've reached out to you. It's your turn to reach out and seek help. Also share this with others by reaching out and helping them. Thank you.